this is my review of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Okay, so starting in this episode, Red Hot Chili Pepper finally decides to confront the group. Not directly yet. He's still using his stand to confront them, but basically Red Hot Chili Pepper shows up and begins to cause problems for the group. So it starts off with Tomoko and Josuke arguing. Josuke is trying to play and subsequently beat a video game, and Tomoko's trying to get him to do his homework, and she eventually succeeds in getting him to put the game away. After he loses, and she distracts him long enough that he's unable to actually beat the game, and goes to wallow in his disappointment, and turns off the TV and begins to go upstairs to go get changed and go do his homework. However, suddenly the TV turns back on, and Josuke knows that he turned it off, so he begins to wonder why it suddenly turned back on, and also why he's unable to turn it off again. At which point, Red Hot Chili Pepper reveals itself and emerges from the TV. And Josuke naturally asks it why it's in his living room. Why Red Hot Chili Pepper's in his living room. And Red Hot Chili Pepper responds that it had basically been keeping up with everything that's been going on up to this point. It knows about Yukiko, it knows about Tamami, it knows about all of them. And it's just been spying on them for however long. While it hasn't been in an episode much, while it's been appearing sparingly, it does know about every single stand user in Morioh, and has been following Josuke around in particular. And now Red Hot Chili Pepper feels like he's confident enough to take Josuke on directly and get him, and so that he can gauge his powers and see if he's strong enough to take on Star Platinum, and also thinks that he can actually kill Josuke in the process, and then begins goading Josuke into fighting him, but then realizes he bit off more than he can chew when he realizes that Crazy Diamond is a lot faster than he thinks it is. And sure enough, he realizes that he needs to end the fight quickly and get out of there, and sure enough sends Josuke flying with a single punch before retreating into the TV, claims that he'll become stronger by the time they next meet. And sure enough, Josuke realizes that the stand is dangerous, and also cleans up any evidence that the fight happened before his mom can come in and find out what actually happened. So, at which point he asks out, has Jotaro schedule a meeting, and they meet out in an open field, and reveals and sure enough, Okuyasu and Koichi take Okuyasu's bike out into the middle of an empty field where there's no electrical power lines whatsoever, where they're relatively safe from Red Hot Chili Pepper. And when Okuyasu naturally asks the very important question of why they called him out there. And sure enough, he reveals that Jotaro actually was the one who scheduled the meeting and called them all out. And that the reason they are meeting is because of Red Hot Chili Pepper, which sets Okuyasu off, to put it lightly. And he's pretty sure he knows. So yeah, Okuyasu still hasn't forgiven what Red Hot Chili Pepper has done to his brother, and that's understandable. And sure enough, is mad at Josuke for keeping this a secret from him. But then Jotaro shows up and reveals that the reason he had Josuke keep it a secret is because Red Hot Chili Pepper can monitor them through electricity and pretty much anything electrical. And so he had Josuke keep hush-hush so that Red Hot Chili Pepper didn't know about the meeting. So, or at least in theory. But in any case, Jotaro reveals that he actually has an ace in the hole to actually find out where Red Hot Chili Pepper stand user is, since that's their top priority, since he can kill anybody from anywhere, and that needs to be taken care of immediately. And also they need to find out where the bow and arrow is before Red Hot Chili Pepper stand user is able to make more stand users and cause more problems in Morioh. And sure enough, reveals that he actually does have an ace in the hole to actually find him, which we know is Joseph Joestar, but Jotaro plays a little bit coy about the fact that it's Joseph Joestar and doesn't exactly reveal right away that who it actually is. Although he does give them plenty of hints to work off of, and Koichi and Josuke eventually come close, eventually almost deduce that it might actually be Joestar and Josuke's father. So, at which point, Red Hot Chili Pepper emerges from the bike, having apparently hidden in the bike's battery before they actually showed up. It's one of those motorbikes, but in any case, with all the information he needs, Red Hot Chili Pepper begins to escape on Okuyasu's bike, and Okuyasu takes after him. He uses his stand to teleport on top of Red Hot Chili Pepper and proceeds to battle him. Sure enough, Red Hot Chili Pepper basically taunts Okuyasu, pointing out that he's way too slow to actually hit him. But as it turns out, Okuyasu actually used his head for once and destroyed the bike that Red Hot Chili Pepper was bound to, rather than Red Hot Chili Pepper himself. And sure enough, because the bike has been partially destroyed, he's no longer able to. Red Hot Chili Pepper's no longer able to move, and the nearest electrical lines are 100 meters away. So basically, Red Hot Chili Pepper's all but caught. And sure enough, Okuyasu and Red Hot Chili Pepper face off briefly. Okuyasu is able to use his stand to sneak up to teleport behind Red Hot Chili Pepper and kick him further and further away from the battery, while also using the hand's power to constantly swipe at him until and keep him away from him, and also almost come close to killing him a couple of times. At which point, and sure enough, Red Hot Chili Pepper is notably very weakened. He goes from its usual yellow to more of a brownish color, and its electricity starts to dissipate. So it doesn't have any power now that it's been separated from the battery. And sure enough, it's starting to drain the power from the battery, so it's slowly losing its ability to manifest itself. And sure enough, Jotaro has Okuyasu hold off from actually finishing him off, and points out that they need to interrogate him for information and get the bow and arrow away from him. And Okuyasu admits that he'll do it, and will indeed stay his hand, literally. And hold off until Jotaro actually gets over there. But then Red Hot Chili Pepper starts scheming and begins to rattle off about how weak he is and how he might be weak, but he might not. And basically the idea is that he's trying to get Okuyasu to second guess himself, and it works. He basically what he tries to do is trick Okuyasu into thinking he's still got enough juice left to actually finish off Jotaro when he comes close. And Okuyasu realizes that he needs to finish off Red Hot Chili Pepper before that can happen, and then swiftly uses the hand to chop Red Hot Chili Pepper in half. However, this was happening to be part of Red Hot Chili Pepper's plan, as it turns out, he had Red Hot Chili Pepper's stand user had actually memorized the layout of all the electrical lines in Morioh, and as it turns out, where Red Hot Chili Pepper was standing moments before happened to be more electrical lines. And sure enough, with its powers restored, it's able to easily defeat Okuyasu and even cripple its stand by cutting off his right hand, which is the source of the hand's power, and now the hand has no ability. So, and sure enough, Red Hot Chili Pepper gloats and says that they need to Okuyasu's brother was indeed right when he said that Okuyasu holds him back, and then proceeds to gloat to the rest of the Joestar group about how he's defeated both of the Nijimura brothers, and how he's now going to finish off Joseph Joestar, and then proceeds to recede into the power lines with Okuyasu. And Koichi is notably upset by this and begins bawling his eyes out, but Josuke and Jotaro are not concerned and instead begin to formulate a plan of attack to actually corner Red Hot Chili Pepper before anything bad can happen to Joseph Joestar. At which point Koichi naturally calls them out for being so heartless and cruel. At which point Josuke reveals that he actually has a plan to get Okuyasu back, and uses Crazy Diamond's power on Okuyasu's severed hand, which pulls him out of the power lines and also restores his hand. And Red Hot Chili Pepper realizes too late what happened and panics a little bit because he realizes that Okuyasu isn't out of the picture like he thought. But in case after Okuyasu's hand has been restored and he is now among the living again, Josuke and Jotaro proceed to the port, realizing that they need to go take down that they need to go protect Joseph Joestar at all costs and keep him safe. So, and sure enough, Okuyasu, having been restored to his former glory, realizes that he needs to surpass his brother if he wants to actually beat Red Hot Chili Pepper, and thanks Red Hot Chili Pepper for the experience, even though Red Hot Chili Pepper isn't in Einstein. It's more of a motivational thing, but you get the idea. And the only one who really has no idea what's going on is Koichi, who thinks that Okuyasu's in shock when he's actually just having a revelation, and is a little bit confused as to how Jotaro and Josuke can keep so cool under the situation. So, yeah. And also, now Joseph is actually arriving in Morioh. Although admittedly, according to Jotaro, he's a lot older than he used to be. He's apparently 79 now. He has cataracts and he may have onset Alzheimer's. He's forgetting things. They never actually say if it's Alzheimer's or not, but at the very least, his mind is starting to go. So he's starting to become a little bit scatterbrained. And also because he's old and frail, he's unable to hold himself up. He's just really so. All in all, he's just really old. And Hermit Purple is basically the only thing he has going for him anymore. So yeah, he's old. But he's officially arrived in Morioh, and now the group has to find him before Red Hot Chili Pepper. And they have presumably very little time to do it because he arrives at noon. So yeah, that's the first half of the Red Hot Chili Pepper story arc. Yeah, I'm interested to see how the second half of this plays out. Because Red Hot Chili Pepper just escapes into the power lines, and he knows where Joseph is going to be at noon. So they have to get to Joseph before Red Hot Chili Pepper, and also figure out where his stand is and where his stand user is subsequently. But in any case, yeah. That's my review of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. What did you guys think? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below. And also, check out my Patreon in the description below as well. It's only a couple bucks a month. It really helps me out, and you guys get access to a bunch of cool perks. I'm always saying thanks, so be sure to check those out in the description below as well. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!